This is He Knows Everything, bringing you that heat and that far. Listen, y'all. When it's all said and done, Jaron Boots Ennis is not the next Floyd Mayweather. I showed you guys basically film study of the fight between him and Thomas DeLong. Thomas DeLong is a bum. He's a bum bash. He's a tomato can. Why are people always ready to coronate a prospect? Let me say it again. Why are people always ready to coronate a prospect? It's a things that make you say, It's a things that make you say, But in its most cold-hearted, unadulterated, and cutthroat truth-teller fashion, it's as simple as this. We have to ask ourselves, why are people running with this nonsensical narrative? Well, the reason why they're running with it is because, like I've told you, when you have an inferior mindset, you're going to run with inferior narratives. Let me say it again. When you have an inferior mindset, you're going to run with inferior narratives. Only superior mindsets look at things from a superior ideology. Errol the True Spence is established. Errol the True Spence had the superior sparring session with Floyd Mayweather. Errol the True Spence was coordinated by Richard Schaefer. We officially left the Mayweather era and we ushered into the Spence era. The Mayweather era has ended. The Spence era has begun. This is when the Mikey Garcia fight happened. This was coronation. Steven Espinoza is not no damn Richard Schaefer when it comes to looking at the forecast of things. Now, Steven Espinoza is a respected person. He has every right to have his opinion. And if his opinion is one of saying that Jaron Boots Ennis is the next Floyd Mayweather, then I'm not going to take that away from him. But what I will say is, stop the presses and pump the brakes on the nonsense and go sit down somewhere. What? Higgity, hush with that nonsense. When it's all said and done, Jaron Boots Ennis is unproven. He's a prospect. He fought a tomato can. He fought a bum. He fought a bum bash. And the interesting part about it, if you look at the film study, the first knockdown was a graze. It was the second knockdown that was a legitimate one. Let me say it again. The first knockdown was a graze. It was a great acting job by Thomas DeLong. You get kudos for that, man. That reminded me of when Terrence Bud Crawford, the Chihuahua, parking behind the damn fence, basically hit Kell Brook. And it was the same thing. Grazing shot, but Kell Brook basically reactivated his body. His body was possessed, and he moved in an extra way to showcase that he was more beat up than in actuality what he was. When it's all said and done, this is what's fundamentally wrong with the sport of boxing. It's boxing fans, supposed boxing aficionados, and people that want to coronate somebody, and this person hasn't proven nothing. Spence has proven time and time again. Whether it was a Sean Porter, whether it was a Danny Garcia, whether if it was regressing a Mikey Garcia into a Uber, a Lyft, and a hold up. Hey, taxi, Tijuana cab driver fighter. Or whether if it was a Chris Van Heeten, who, by the way, was a common opponent with Jaron Boots Ennis. And Jaron Boots Ennis fought a Chris Van Heeten that was aged 40 freaking years, and he couldn't get this dude out of there. Errol the True Spence dismantled this guy. This guy was 23-1 South African prospect that was going into contender status. And Errol the True Spence beat the living snot out of him. Basically made him a nobody. Chris Van Heeten hasn't been talking about Spence. He has been bringing Spence's praises since. Do I need to keep on going? Sean Porter can't get his motor back. Bloated trauma from Errol the True Spence beatdown. Danny Garcia weltering 6+ months of a black eye. It's like the black eye didn't want to run away from him. Let me say it again. It's like the black eye did not want to run away from him. Kell Brook was put on Boys to Men bended knee fashion. Do I need to keep on going? Chris Van Heeten had a 40-yard dash, meltdown, breakdown, tactical aggression style, technical punch and placement style, body snatching work style, the levying onslaught, the punishment style. Chris Algieri fought Ruslan Provodnikov and Manny Pacquiao before that. Manny Pacquiao dropped him 8 times. Errol the True Spence stopped him. See, this is facts. When we look at Errol the True Spence, we see actual facts. Lamar Peterson was retired by Errol the True Spence. Do I need to keep on going so people can understand? When you fight Errol the True Spence, you are no longer the same fighter. You go into another profession. Is Jaron Boots putting people in other professions? No. He had a no contest. Basically, you could say a fucking draw with Chris Van Heater, but we're pushing this guy. A guy that leaves his hands down. And we know the terminology, hands down, man down. A guy that sits there and charges his head forward with no hands up. No high guard, no low guard, no mid guard. None of that. A guy that sits there and hates the fact that he's such a stationary target, he's susceptible to lateral movement. The film study showed you that. When Thomas DeLong, a bum, a tomato can, a bum bash, went lateral on him, not only did he land the overhand right, he hit him downstairs with a body snatching work, and then he snatched him up again with another overhand right. Could you imagine if those punches were Errol the True Spence punches and his accumulation of punishment? So you guys have to think about that. But this kid is ready. He hasn't gotten through Virgil Ortiz, but he's ready. He hasn't gotten through Gary Antoine Russell Jr., but he's ready. Why are you guys coordinating a guy when you know damn well there are other people that's been calling this dude out and they can legitimately beat this guy? We don't know how a fight will end between him and Virgil Ortiz. We don't know how a fight will end up between him and Gary Antoine Russell. But they supposedly want to tell you that Jaron Boots Ennis is that dude. See, when it's all said and done, boxing fans are not being honest with themselves. They want to jump on the next bandwagon. Let me explain something to you guys. It is the most beta male thing to do to jump on the next bandwagon because beta males are inferior. So when you're inferior in your mind, you want parity. The alpha male thing to do is to have the one monolithic viewpoint of one motherfucker lords over. One motherfucker dominates. But that one motherfucker actually lords over, and that one motherfucker actually dominates their respective division, whatever that division is. And in boxing, that's what you want to see. When the dust settles, who is the best of the best? Jaron Boots Ennis is not that. And if we're being honest with ourselves, what we saw in that fight with Thomas DeLong, as the competition level goes up, put a Sean Porter in front of this guy. Sean Porter, who does not have a motor that stops. Sean Porter, even in his broken state that Errol the True Spence put him in, would give Jaron Boots Ennis an L. I know a number of welterweights that would give Jaron Boots Ennis props. Danny Garcia would give him problems with counterpunching. Keith Thurman, even in a broken state, I believe would give Jaron Boots Ennis problems. Because if I saw what I saw with Thomas DeLong, I have to know in my mind a higher level of competition would be that much more of a fit for this guy. This guy's not what you guys think that he is. He's actually extremely overrated. And him calling out Errol the True Spence, that's clout. That's what we call clout chasing. There's a terminology out there for that. Because you best believe if Errol the True Spence call his bluff, he's gonna duck him. He's not gonna take that fight because he understands it's career suicide. To be mangled, to be punished, to be washed. Let me say it again, to be mangled, to be punished, to be washed. Who would want to be mangled by Mr. Tactical Aggression? Who would want to be punished by Mr. Technical Puncher Placement? And who would want to be washed by Mr. Body Snatching Work? It's a levying onslaught of a punishment style. This man is the punisher in the ring. He decides your fate. He's the judge, the jury, and the executioner. And you honestly believe that Jaron Boots Ennis has what it takes to stand toe-to-toe with a guy of that magnitude? A guy of that caliber? A guy of that variation? A guy of that aspect? Are you kidding me? This is the brain full of mushing and the brainwashing of i.e. dodo head status that boxing fans have decided to become? That much? Or is it because they just hate Errol the True Spence that much that they're willing to put any dud up against him? Let me say it again. They hate Errol the True Spence so much to the point that they're willing to put any dud up against him. I have to believe the latter. I have to believe that that's where the mindset is coming from. Beta males cannot stand the alpha male aura that alpha males have, because alpha males showcase to you guys they're unapologetic in the way that they are. Beta males wish that they were that way, but they're not. And when it's all said and done, Jaron Boots Ennis is the beta male's poster boy. He's the beta male poster child. And over here, he knows everything, kills all beta male hype. All of it goes out the gutter. Because when it's all said and done, Jaron Boots Ennis is not the fighter that you guys think that he is. If you're paying attention, you're paying closely, you're using the true boxing eye test, you can see that there's a lot of deficiencies with this kid. And this kid is very raw, and there's a lot that he needs to go back to the drawing board to fine tune. Now, am I not saying that he does not have potential to be great? I'm not saying that. What I'm telling y'all is don't put the fucking cart before the horse. And now y'all saying that he can go up against Errol the True Spence. Do y'all really want this kid to go to the hospital? Do you really want him to have a high hospital bill? Do you really want him slurring? Do you really want him to be on CTE protocol? Do you really want this guy to not be able to box anymore? See, these are fundamental questions that you as boxing fans need to answer. And if that's not the cold-hearted, that's not the unadulterated, that's not the cutthroat true telefashion, then I don't know what it is. Because when it's all said and done, I keeps the foot on the X. I keeps the foot on the X. This is He Knows Everything. Check it out.